Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Altered Cottage. I feel a little bit like the London buses today because I've kind of gone from nothing to all, or at least two in a row. Basically because I had got the journals done, but I was waiting to try and find something that would work for me to film them without having to be an octopus and have arms and hands all over the place trying to hold the book up. So I think I've got that sorted. This is the second bee journal that I've done. It's a bit different from the other one. It has a soft cover, but it's really chunky and lovely. It feels nice to hold, and it's quite textured. So the front is a fabric which I picked up. It's slightly textured. I tea dyed it and then I sprayed it with some stain to make it have a sort of slightly yellowy vintage feel. I've layered up the front on some vintage lace from an old tablecloth, some corrugated cardboard which I sprayed and gessoed and inked, cheesecloth, this lovely vintage postcard, bumblebee charm, well, honeycomb charm, and then I've fed this, I don't know what you call it actually, but these ribbons, metallic ribbons, through underneath. So if you'd prefer to put your own ribbon in or a different closure, you can actually pull it out quite easily, but it's fed through the eyelets. So it's a one signature chunky soft cover fabric journal. Lots of room for writing. It measures approximately 9 inches that way by 6 3/4, so standard A5 pages. It's one signature, 54 pages, 108 sides. So let's get into it. So this just opens really easily, and as I say, I've just fed it under here so you can remove it. There we have this lovely springtime fabric here, and the first page we have some extra journaling space, a little folder. I've got a pocket here with some tickets. I won't pull them out just in case I don't get them back in again. I've actually made this with a combination of kits again, some from Tracy Fox and some from Nick the Booksmith, along with the Be Happy scrapbooking pad of cardstock, which is lovely. It's all sort of metallic bumblebees and things. I've used some of this gorgeous, well, it's sari trim, but it's very fine, very delicate chiffon with the little lace inclusions here. Big lace pocket on some Edith Holden paper, and here I've made a layered tag, again with some corrugated cardstock, which I've gessoed, put a bit of sparkle on. One of the Tim Holtz flowers, and so that's some writing space on the back. That's very textured, like that. Pocket here. This is Nick the Booksmith, I believe. I might be wrong on that one. It's a trifold Edith Holden page, little pocket with a library card. So there's lots of hidden spots for journaling on this one. Tea dyed paper, doily, some of this lovely lined craft paper. Pretty sure that's Nick the Booksmith. I always forget the name of this paper, which is parchment. And that prints up really nicely on parchment paper. It's got a lovely feel to it. Pocket with an old postcard, and that's on some heavyweight vellum which I've run through an embossing folder. Lined paper again, that's tea stained. We have a tag here in a vellum envelope on that lovely bumblebee yellow. If I take all of these out, I'll never get them back in again. Graph paper, vintage bee. This is one of my altered paper clips on one of the Tracy Fox printouts. So that just goes like that and pops on here. I love making these. Any little snippets which I have, or offcuts which are an inch and above, I tend to keep and just throw into a big box, and then when I feel like it, I make a whole load of these, because I just think they look so pretty and add a lot to the book. So that's that paper clip. This was actually a really happy accident. I tried feeding something through the printer and it bunched up and got 2 pages together, and it came down with this stripe down the page, and I thought that was just really quite cool. So yeah, music paper with a little bit of corrugated card that I've just kind of ruffled up there. Paper bag. Again, these are very elusive in the UK, and I've made a little extra journaling space there with a little notebook to go in there. Some of the coloured marble paper, which I love. Another Tracy Fox, and on here I've put one of my little, well, they're not so little actually, they're quite big, but altered safety pins. And lots of sparkly beads and bling and pearls, and yeah, like that. And then you've got lace, cotton lace edge trim. It's from a vintage gardening book. Nick the Booksmith. Postcard backed onto what are these called? Index card for extra journaling space. This again was part of my granddad's old ledger book, and as I mentioned in my previous video, he was a headmaster in a boys' school in Wales in the early 1900s, and when I was clearing out my mum's house, I found a lot of sort of old books and notebooks and ledger books that I rescued. And that time I wasn't into junk journaling, so they were just sitting there, and I thought, aha, I know what I can use those for. Vintage music paper, which has got a gorgeous colour. Very old. This is a glassine bag. That one's empty. This is the centre of a signature, and I've used an envelope which I made, so you can pop something into that. This one is actually from a huge botanical book. I think it's Wildflowers of Great Britain or something, but it's got huge thick lovely pages and brilliant for making envelopes. yeah, bumblebees throughout this book, as you would expect. Another postcard which I've stitched. Just popped it onto some craft card to make it a bit more sturdy. Some more of the marble paper, which I just really like using. Here I've just added some extra journaling space. More of the parchment paper, Nick the Booksmith. Vintage gardening journal, Tracy Fox. It's the other side of the paper bag. This is the other side of that Happy Accident paper, which I don't know whether you can see on here, but the texture on there is lovely. It's kind of picked up the texture from the baking tray. This is one of my altered paperclip snippets. Again, I just love making anything like this, making something out of virtually nothing. And you can see the tiny bits that have been used on this. And one of Tracy Fox's curly paper clips. It just sits on. There we go. Washi tape. Another tag, which I've just stitched around. I didn't actually do sewing in my last journal, or the first journal that I made, mainly because I made it when I was in bed, and really it's not very practical to hump a sewing machine, and a rather heavy sewing machine at that, up to the bedroom. I don't think my husband would have appreciated it too much, sharing the bed with a sewing machine, even though I do happen to love my Bernina. But I do love my husband more, so that's okay. Thick vellum paper, Nick the Booksmith, and I do love these images. I think I've said that before. Edith Holden, parchment paper, and another big pocket there, and a lace pocket there. Some more of this beautiful chiffon. And again, some of this, I don't know whether you can see the beautiful metallics on that. There we have it. So, Chunky Monkey, lots of room for writing. I don't actually, well, my style, not that I don't like them, because I think some of them are beautiful. The journals, which are so full of stuff like ephemera and bits and pieces, that actually there isn't really any room for journaling. I much prefer things that, you know, they come out for their intended purpose. So yeah, lots of room for writing. Tags, pockets, tuck spots, and I think that's it for this one, and I think that's going to be it for today. So I'll get this uploaded, popped onto YouTube, and if you've got a bit of time, then come and see me on my Facebook page, which is The Altered Cottage, because this will also be listed on there. All right, have a great day. Bye.